fortunate that as a stage host, you can get away with having a more generic overview of a specific game, but you don't want to be that guy. You want to be the person that understands what's going on, like the real nitty gritty of the game, and also within, the gossip or like the roster mania elements of each game as well, because those are talking points that you have to have on stage when you're interviewing players in between games. So the one of the hardest things I would say as a host is that when you get to an event, you're really only given 2 days of prep before the event starts. And if you're not, glued to that esport for weeks leading up to the event, or if you don't keep your ears to the ground enough about that esport, again, you can get caught out. So one of the harder things is getting to the venue. And the way that I like to prep is I like to actually have an open line of communication with the players. So if I get the opportunity to go and chat with one of them and talk to them about how they're feeling, or talk to them about a roster change that's happened recently, or a rival that they're going up against in round one in the group stage, all those little tidbits of information really, really help bring an interview together. And I feel like that's where the difficulties can lie. And it's not necessarily the traveling or the long hours on stage and rehearsing and preparation. It is just, enabling or ensuring that I can be the best at what I do and really bring something valuable to a broadcast, rather than being the generic overview on stage of just, hey, everyone, welcome. These are the teams. This is the prize pool. Let's get into it. It's nice to have extra bits of information. And if you go that extra mile, it can really translate on broadcast. And then, you know, a lot of people say, like, don't read the chat and don't read the comments and all that stuff. But ultimately, if the community likes you in a game, you're more likely to be hired again. So you listen to the community, listen to what they're crying out for, and listen to the style of questions or the style of interviews that they like to see and hear. Um, and yeah, don't rub the players up the wrong way. So that's kind of, yeah, I think, yeah, going into like that side of things, I think the prep for each individual game as a stage host, because you bleed across games. You're one of the only talent that works within esports that really jumps from game to game. There's a few casters that do that, but it's quite few and far between. So as the host, you've got to be able to land in an esport or like land at an event and really ingrain yourself as much as you can in those few days before the event starts.
Yeah, really got to hit the ground running.